ladies and gents, welcome back to the 1% podcast. A little bit different this one. No one fitness, well, I say that. I was going to say no one fitness related, but that's a lie. So it's fine. I was going to say no one typical that you expect. I've got my gorgeous sister, Louisa Lee, on the podcast. Welcome to this episode. How you doing?
Hello, I'm all good, thank you.
Good.
It's nice to be here. Nice to see you across the other side of the world.
I love this. It's like an excuse for us to catch up, isn't it? Let's do a podcast so we can just chat for like 45 minutes to an hour. But no, honestly, with this one, guys, I think it's just nice. Like, I think maybe for you even, I feel like the last 6 months, even less, a lot's changed in our lives and kind of how we see things. And
definitely,
we've kind of spoke, obviously, being brother and sister, we obviously spoke a lot about relationships, our direction in life, our clarity, our happiness, and just some really kind of deeper conversations that we've never really had before. And I think it's kind of nice. I think we just want to get out here and kind of express that, really. That's kind of what we want to do, right?
Yeah, I think so. We always do, don't we? Have really lovely chats. And like you say, we haven't really done that before, up until obviously being miles apart and then going through similar things in the last 6 months. So yeah, it's been nice. It's been nice to actually be able to bounce off each other and have that other person to stick their oar in, and say, actually, come on.
Yeah, 100%. I think what's nice as well, it's bizarre, isn't it? Because I think like distance for me has actually made me closer to even mum, to you, and even Tone, to be fair. Like I text Tone like often as well, not as often as I talk to you, but I speak to him a couple of times a week. And it's bizarre, isn't it, how like when you're 40 minutes away, you just take people for granted and you're like, oh, they're just down the road, they're busy with their lives. But actually when you're a 6-7 hour flight away and I jump on Zoom and the kids are all growing up and I'm like, fucking hell, like I'm missing out on their lives. I feel like I need to make sure that I'm closer to you all. And
you're
really,
right.
And it's been really beneficial. I think it has it has brought us closer together as well, which is lovely.
I think so. And definitely, like you say, because when you are close to someone, even though you're only 45 minutes away, you do take them for granted and you don't necessarily pick up the phone and talk to them. So but I think for me and you, it's been lovely because you've always been my little brother as well. And now you're sort of, well, you're not nearer my age at all, but now that you're older, we can actually have these lovely conversations where, I think when we were always in the same country, we never did, because it was, how many people probably talk to their brother? Or their sister. Maybe they do, I don't know, but
no, I don't know.
I think it's been lovely for well, definitely for me, I know, to be able to talk to you, and you're the kind of person that cuts the crap, that just tells it how it is. Yeah. So I always know I'm going to get a truthful answer from you, and you're not going to sort of beat around the bush, which is nice, and that's what you want to hear, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And it fucking sucks sometimes, right?
Yeah,
that's cool. Does. But for anyone obviously that listens to this and things like that, like just a little bit of a backstory into you. Like obviously it's a big story to tell, like if we start from fucking your whole life, but I guess kind of just from like go from like, you can recap it very smoothly if you want to, but like teenage years, kind of going up, what's life been like, sort of thing? What's kind of like, just I guess recap your life in a couple of minutes.
I don't know, but God, it'd take me ages. My age. I grew up an outdoorsy person on a farm, very always having to do something, always busy. Was always into fitness. I used to go to mum's classes with her when I was 12. So I've always been into fitness, always liked to take care of myself. And then I actually got into beauty therapy and worked as a beauty therapist for the last 20 years in and around the beauty industry. And I think, I don't know, it's been a lovely experience, but I'm now sort of changing my route that I want to go down. And I think as well, getting to my age, I've learned so much about that when you're in your 20s, you really don't know who you are. I know you do. You've learned a
But
lot.
it's interesting you say that, because I feel like, well, maybe in the last 6 months I do. For a long time I was like, no.
Yeah, I look back and it's so true what people say. If only you could know now at my age, I'm 41, what you knew, if you knew, what you know now in your
You'd be
20s,
like,
God,
fucking
you'd
kill
all be
life.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is that learning curve. And another big thing for me is it's not too late to change. It's not too late to change your path or your passion or how you feel about yourself. We're not this person that, I think a lot of people as well grow up when they're little believing what they're brought up to believe.
Yeah.
And I think we get to a point, I know I got to a point in my life where I undid all of that and thought, hang on, I'm not saying it was all bad, but I think you get to a point in life where you undo all of that and you start again and go, hang on, actually, who am I? Who do I want to be?
Yeah.
What do I want to do with my life? Do I believe in those sets of beliefs that I've been following all my life? Do I still think that is what I should be feeling and thinking? So I don't know. I think I've changed definitely a lot over the last 20
Wow.
years.
Gotcha.
Massively. And I think actually I look back and I don't like who I was in my 20s, but I think that's the process that a lot of people go through, that when you look back you think, oh, I was a bit of an idiot then. But that's part of life and growth, isn't it? And learning about ourselves. So now I've kind of got to the end of my journey as a beauty therapist in most ways, and I'm actually a skincare consultant, which I love, for tropic skincare. So I'm still dabbling in facials and things, but it's more about self-care and helping others to look after themselves now.
Yeah.
On a health journey. So as well, because I've got you, a mum with a background in fitness, I'm big time into my fitness, and eating healthily. So it kind of all comes into under one umbrella.
Yeah, man.
So I've sort of adapted my whole journey now as to, I'm just trying to help other people be aware of themselves, their health, their beauty, and that self-care is so important.
Yeah. God, yeah. And I think we skipped over that you have 2 kids as well. That popped
Oh,
up.
it's all about me.
Yeah, that's it. By the way, that's it. One's in secondary school now, and we just skipped out a good 12 years of
Sorry, I went off on a tangent, didn't I? Yeah,
No,
I'm a
but it's
mum as
good. That's
well.
the thing. It's like, try and tell your life, right, in fucking 5 minutes, right? It's impossible. But
Yeah,
no, I think what's been
yeah,
like, obviously we'll kind of start back a little bit and we'll build forward, but like, obviously what's been like, you as my sister, like what's been lovely is that obviously there's a big age gap, technically, I guess you could call it, between siblings. And obviously we have the same mum and we have different dads and things like that, because our mum is incredible at picking men, clearly. So
no comments.
that's it. I'd happily go for it. Hey, he won't listen to this. So it's cool. But I think like, we've all been raised very, like, I think especially me and you, we were raised by our mum. Really, we
Yeah,
were raised by mum.
yeah,
And mum's always been, we've always lived and poo picked and fucking had dogs around us, and
yeah, on the farm.
we've had a farm life. Like, you were a very good competitive rider when you were younger, and even when we had the stables together, you were riding and you were hands on the whole time. So we did have a very similar kind of upbringing in a sense, but just at kind of different spectrum levels, like you say. Like,
Yeah,
I think obviously you being that little bit older, you were born and raised into the way, like, right, you need to have kids at this certain age, and it still is today, right? Like, oh, you need to have this stable job and all this sort of stuff. But I think mum's been very good at just being like, oh, just fucking try everything. Like, she's never really cared about like academics or anything like that. I'm like, she's very minimalistic. If we're
I
happy.
think she cares, but
Hmm.
mum was very arty, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I think we follow her. We're very into sport and we're quite arty, so we aren't the type of person that would necessarily go and sit and have a desk job. you know, we're more of doing people,
Yeah,
a doer, you know. And
yeah,
I think that mum definitely gave us the knowledge tools to be able to, like you say, try everything and kind of get to feel and know what you like. You know, life's too short to be doing something you don't want to do.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
And I think, I don't know, feel like, I think since moving abroad and things like that, like, and I think I really realized how fucking good she was. I know sometimes we have conversations, oh, she's in a bit of a rut, and we all talk about our mums like that, right? Come on, mum, sort your shit out. You're a bit old fashioned, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think I generally like, I hope one day that when I see you with with Honey and Blake, and the way that I've seen mum raised us, if I just like flashback now, thinking actually how she did raise us, I truly hope one day that I'm a percentage of how good she was.
Yeah,
She
definitely.
sacrificed so much. She had so many jobs. She was up at 5 a.m. doing work. Like she just provided for her kids no matter what.
She
And
was a machine, bless her, wasn't she? She didn't give
yeah,
up, didn't
no,
stop.
that's it. And when you hear some of the stories that she tells us about our dads and things like that, you're like, fuck me. Like, how are you still positive?
Yeah,
Sometimes, how are you still
yeah.
positive, and how are you still functioning with these like I don't care. Like, I'm not going to talk about your dad, but like I haven't spoke to my dad in 2 years.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
you're like, fucking hell, like, how did you
yeah. I
some
think they're very different but very similar,
they're
two
so
people,
similar.
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um,
no, I think if I just think like even like there's pictures of you when you were bathing me as a kid and things like that. We've definitely been, I think it was like
I
I
was
was
like your second mum.
yeah, that's it.
Mum used to have to ask to have you back. So I used to walk around with you on my hip with one hand, and she'd be like, "Can I have you back now?"
I think that's what's nice, because obviously we were raised really close and very similar, and then obviously you actually moved in with your ex like really young, right? I think you were like 16 to 18. You were really
Yeah, I was 17.
yeah, and then you were together for a long, long time. And I think that's
Yeah,
when me and you kind of separated a little bit, because obviously you had your own life and things like that. And I think it was
yeah,
only until you've had the kids that we've really started to come closer
come
and
back together.
yeah, massively. And I think, do you know what? That's the blessing of being, I don't want to call you a single mum, but that is the blessing of it. I think, like, well,
Yeah.
I think it's been really good, like, because,
Do you know what as well though? I just want to touch on this as well. It's I moved a lot as a child, so I that's one thing that I've obviously come to notice, and that I now make sure. Obviously, I'm not moving lots with my two, but it really made me realise that I'm a great people person, but I was never great at getting to know people and how to make friends.
yeah, true. Well, I
You
think I'm the
know,
same. Yeah.
so I'd meet people. Like I worked at the gym, mum's gym in Henley, when I was, I think, when I left school 15, 16, as a part-time job until I did college.
Mm.
And I remember one of the girls there saying to me, after a few months, "Oh, you know, we'll have to go out, you know, and have a drink or go for a meal." And I remember thinking, "Oh my God, like, oh, that's really nice."
Yeah.
And that's normal. I really didn't, you know,
Yeah.
I really just thought people came and went, and you know, you just carry on your own. So that's one thing that I've really tried to do in my life. Although I've moved around a lot, I don't have people that I've known since like reception, or you know, like, what do they
Oh,
call it, preschool.
yeah, yeah. No. And
But I do believe, you know, people come into your life for a reason, and a lot of them go for a reason.
yeah,
But the ones that stay are always, I find, are the ones that are just so easy to be around.
yeah.
So that's one thing that I have definitely. Sounds so stupid, doesn't it? But it
Not
was
at
really
all.
something that hit me massively.
Not at all. Because at the end of the day, we need what we're animals at the end of the day, right? We need to be in groups and we need to be in colonies, and that's how we were when we were apes and things like
Hmm.
that. So we do need that love and that network of some form. And I think I was exactly the same. Like, I think because I was kayaking for so long, I never really had a social life at school because I was always doing that. So I had a different group of friends there. I had the odd friend and things like that, close mate at school, but I don't talk to any of them now from even college. I don't talk to anyone
Yeah,
from college. But now living here, I've really built people. I'm like, oh, I will be friends with you forever.
yeah.
And I think that's because it took me 26 years, but I had to move somewhere to find these people.
To realize that they're your kind of people as well. I think as well, we float through life and we have all these different friendship groups and in different places, but I think the people that we figure out definitely later on in life that there is only a handful that are my people.
Yeah. But that's all you need as well, isn't it? You only need that small little circle. You only need like a couple of really good friends. And that is honestly it, because I always think now, I'm like, I just want to keep my life as minimalistic as possible. The less people involved in it, the less people getting involved in my shit, whatever it is, the easier it is. Because I can,
Less negativity.
yeah, that's it. And then you can just put your head down and do you at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
no, I think our upbringings have been very similar, obviously just different. Because what is the gap?
different times.
Yeah, like,
14 years.
is it? Yeah, 14 years different. Fuck, yeah, that's it. So it's obviously just a
Yeah.
different. But that's it. Like, even when we were all at Cullum, I remember, what was it? Oh, I remember you introducing me to like Beyonce and Sean Paul and like things like that, their first albums and stuff like that. And I was like, now I'm like, but now I listen to those songs and think of you when they come on. I'm
Yeah.
like, I remember sitting on a fucking computer raging out to this on like MSN and stuff like that and all this.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, we've definitely
I was always the crazy child though, wasn't I?
yeah, you had a good spell.
The crazy fun one that was always doing something I shouldn't have been doing, or
No, but you know what though? But that's kind of like, but then I always think, fucking hell, I'm gonna have a midlife crisis then.
oh no, I've had one of those already as well, so don't panic. You'll
No, but
get
like,
one at
but
some
I think
point.
the nice thing is, like for you is that you had that kind of, I don't know, a couple of years where you just like fucking go for it, right? And
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what? Because I'm so regimented and disciplined through sport for so long, and especially now through running your own business. Oh, do you know how good that shit sounds? Just to go fucking mental for 6 months, like just to detach and just to go to like Bali and fucking eat loads of mushrooms and go paralytic. Like, I have that thought more and more now to be like, that sounds incredible.
Do you know what? I went through that. I mean, I've always been the crazy life of the party, always,
Yeah.
um, first one to jump up and say, yeah, I'm in, whatever it is, before I even know.
Before,
But yeah, and then I don't even regret it. I just think, oh, that was a
don't
bad
regret
idea.
it. Don't remember it either. So it's perfect.
But I do feel that those couple of years I really did treat my body bad. But I had so much fun doing it. And it was emotional, really. I think
It was all
I
true.
let
Yeah.
go and didn't care. And you know what? Sometimes I think you have to, it depends. It is, again, everybody's to their own circumstances, but now looking back, I wouldn't change any of that, because I learned so much about myself, so much about just to touch on as well, you suffer with anxiety. I do too, really bad. But it's taught me how to cope with certain things like that, and that actually it's not the be all and end all of the world.
Yeah.
It's definitely made me a much stronger person. And again, a lot of things that I've realized through growing up and getting to this stage in my life, I now look at Honey, she's 11 now, my daughter, and I think, right, these are the things that I am definitely going to teach her, because nobody taught me that. Nothing major, but just little things that I've realized and picked up.
Yeah, things in that 2 years, right? Like, do you know what I mean? And things like that. So it's like,
Yeah,
but no,
but
I think
it's definitely, sorry,
no,
go on.
no, I was just gonna say, I don't think no matter what happens in your life, you can't look at it with regret, because
No.
if you do, I always think there's that thing like, regret is just, it's such a negative, almost depressing emotion. Like, you can't just like, yeah, we're gonna fail every fucking day, and I encourage people that I coach, try and fail every fucking day, try and fuck up every day. That's the mission. Like, when you train to fail, you train to push your body to a limit where it can't do any more.
Yeah.
It gets uncomfortable, and that's when it grows. And that's, I guess, like you say, it's like that's what you need to, like, that's the thing about being a parent. You're like, okay, you can try it. I know how it's going to end out because I've done it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like if Honey
Yeah.
goes, oh, can I stay at a friend's house, and or if she asks you something sneaky, can we do this? I'm like, you can, but I know the outcome. You're going to get detention, or this is going to go bad, or you're going to fucking lose it.
Exactly. I think you've just got to, like we said about mum, you've got to give them the knowledge tools to be able to then make their own decisions and their own choices. And I think that's such a big thing, you know. It's so important for everyone. And like I said, you get to my age and your age even, you've probably learnt stuff over the last 10 years that you think, wow, you know, God,
Yeah.
I've really changed, or I've learnt this about myself. So I think that's what I was going to say. I saw, I was doing a course of Tony Robbins not so long ago. And it was an online one, so I was listening in my ear as I was doing around the kids, because it was like an hour long. And he said that we don't go through things because it's there to give us trauma, or as such.
Yeah, it's true.
We go through, what did he say? We go through things to learn from them. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. So even if it's something that you feel that's really bad, if you can look at that and pluck out of it the lessons that you've learned, then actually it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I try to do now with my, you know, we like you say, we all fuck up, we always make mistakes, we don't get it right all the time. When we're human, we're not perfect. And I try to live by that little bit, you know. If I fuck up today, well, we've got a fresh day tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. I do know I've done that. I said it to, obviously I talk to my clients like every day and things like that, and that's kind of what I say to them. I'm like, glass half full. That's it. That is literally it. Like, I'm like, you can see it's half empty or half full. It's your opinion on what you see. I'm like, yeah, like the other day I did it. I locked myself out of the apartment, no spare key. I was like, oh
No.
fuck off. Like, and I was like, I was hungry. It was post-workout. I'm in prep. I'm OCD. I'm like, I need to be here at this time. Boom, 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 boom. My anxiety started going through. I'm like, half glass full, bro. You live in Dubai and you fucking lost your apartment key overlooking the waterfront. Grow up. Wait a couple of
in the cafe and wait for the locksmith.
Yeah, that's it. Go get your fucking chai latte and banana bread. That'd be nice. It sounds really good right now. And just sit and wait for an hour. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world. And I think obviously it's very different for you now, because it's so different teaching your own little one something, right? Like, that's a very different ball game.
Yeah, I still don't get it right. And do you know what?
Again,
touching on, I've been helping as a TA in my son's school, which is a whole new ball game for me. But I thought the kids would drive me bonkers, because my kids drive me bonkers. But actually, I love it, because there's no, kids see things as they are. They see things for what it is. There's no bullshit. There's no their brains don't kind of go into that overthinking of even what could happen or an outcome. They just
love it. It's like innocence.
They just do, as it is. And they're in the moment. And you know what? It's been so lovely, because I haven't had my phone on me, obviously, every morning for 5 hours.
Yes.
And I've just been with the kids. It's been so refreshing. I can't tell you.
It's so nice just to be present with such innocent souls, really. Like, because I always think that, like, obviously I remember with Blake and Honey, and they like just walk around with no clothes on. And do you know what? I'm like, fucking go for it. Do what you want. Go outside, don't wear any clothes, because guess what? No one actually cares either. It's acceptable for kids to do that. Because when you get to like 8, it's a bit creepy then. So I'm like, whilst you're under the age of 4, fucking run around naked, piss on the grass, do what you want. Because it's so nice. Because I wish that sometimes, I just whip my clothes. I do that. I'm like naked in the kitchen. I'm like, should I just go put the bins out? Like, everyone's seen a willy before.
I'm sure no one would complain, Bran, and I shouldn't say that because I'm your sister, but you look all right.
But it's just like, everyone's seen a willy before, haven't they? So I'm just like, come on, like, what's the big deal? But it's so nice, especially that you can spend half your day now away from your phone. And something that we've talked about is being so present and now. And obviously that's what's nice about I like these podcasts and these recordings, right? Because I just have to focus on you. And as soon as I come away, I'm like, right, actually, don't look at my phone, don't do this, things like that. Try to be present. And I guess that's a massive one that I guess you're like, again, learning as well, right? With this process.
Oh my goodness, yeah, definitely. I mean,
And
some of the
patience.
things they're learning is like that, and they're only 6. It's totally different, obviously, to how we learn. So yeah, they were sounding out sounds, and I think the word was attention, and they were saying how many sounds, and the little boy that I was helping, he said 5, and I was thinking, oh, well, there's only 3 in attention, but we learnt syllables.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
So, and he was right, there was 5 sounds. So even for me, it's
5 sounds. Hang on, teach me this.
a, which is 1, because 2 T's makes the same sound. So a, sh,
Oh yeah. Attention. Yeah, we would just do attention.
attention.
Attention. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think we learnt syllables, because that's 3 syllables, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it is. Yeah. But it's like little things, isn't it? It's just like how I don't like, we could go into the school system. I don't believe in the school system nowadays. No, I think at the end of the day, like, yeah, doing things like that, I think up until kind of now, Honey's going to secondary school, primary school, absolutely fine, right? The stuff they learn.
Yeah,
But when they
yeah,
go into secondary school, something needs to change there, because realistically, like, for her, she's in that generation now where I remember having a conversation with her, and she was like, oh, I want to be a TikTok star. Do you know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
but the thing is, this is the thing, like, this is a job now.
yeah.
But schools and the academic system aren't seeing these as jobs. Like me,
They
like,
don't recognize them.
if I said, oh, I want to be an international online coach when I'm at school, they'd be like, well, you can't do that. It's through social media, and you can't do that. It's not a job.
Yeah, it
So I
has
think
changed, hasn't it, so much.
something needs to change, or because obviously now, like, she needs to learn, like, say for example, she still wants to be a TikTok star or YouTube, she needs to be learning, right, how to read data, how to read performance charts and things like that, so then you can see correlation of, is
Yeah.
your subscribers, all this sort of stuff. Taxes, that'd have been a nice thing to learn when you're self-employed, right? I'd have loved to know how to do my taxes.
Do you know what? That's one thing, again, I know we're going a little bit off topic, but another thing that nobody really taught me was how to run a bank account, how to run a credit card, finances, exactly, and how to
budget money or anything.
But yeah, I just feel like they miss that completely. I had to learn the hard way with that one.
Spend it
Shitloads of
all,
debt, and I
go
just sort
in
it out
debt.
myself.
Fuck. Yeah.
Well, not shitloads, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like,
But
even if it's a couple of grand, right? Like, I think that when I use my credit card to buy a flight, I'm like, fucking hell, that's it. I'm $1,000 in debt.
yeah, yeah, but yeah, I think it's changed so much now. But I think going back to what we were saying, for me as well, trying to teach them, because the world, like you say, has changed so much. I feel like, and with everything being online, and all these filters, yes, I use filters sometimes, only with the same one, just to make me look tanned. But I feel like people think it's so much about ego.
Yeah.
And a lot of people it is, but I feel like self-care and being able to put yourself out there and have confidence, it shouldn't be about ego. It should be about
I think it's like vulnerability, isn't it? Right, showing your vulnerability.
Out, but actually it's okay to take a lovely video of yourself and be free and natural and normal and post that.
Yeah.
I think it's when it crosses over to ego that I think some people get lost.
There's obviously, like, we could dabble into this massively, especially being the kids being young and things like that, and using social media. So obviously my job is technically social media. That's how I build a business. And honestly, the best thing you can ever do is just be yourself. That's absolutely it. It's just be completely honest to you. And if that is one day you're posting like an aesthetic gym picture for me, that's why I look good, that's absolutely fine. But then the next day you might, or vice versa. Like, I think that's why it's nice to see different forms of things. So like, if people want to watch me on YouTube, there's a lot more detail that goes into it, because you can watch like a whole video and I can express, or vice versa, just picking up and just doing stories and stuff. It's showing kind of the now and how you're feeling now. but then you could potentially, when you post things, that could be more of the academic side, whatever it is. I think as long as it's just very true to you, that's all that matters. And I think that there is obviously we're in that world now where we're in that nice transition phase where people know that social media is a massive thing in the world now. We know that it's a massive marketing, like YouTube, all this sorts. It's huge money. It's huge money, and what you can earn on from online is insane. And everyone's aware of that now. They're aware of all the bullshit. They're aware of all the marketing schemes. They're aware of all
I
this
think
sort of stuff.
COVID brought that out a lot, though, didn't
Oh,
it?
of course, yeah. Like we didn't get a choice. That was the only way we could carry on businesses, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of fast forward the world by 20 years, really. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, and people can see through it. People know when you're genuine or not. And it's up to, like, with ego, I think it's like, because I remember when I was in London PTing, I remember on the same day, 3 people called me arrogant. And I've never been.
And they don't even know you.
They don't know me, but all it is that they've seen me in an environment where I'm confident in.
Yeah.
So they see me in a gym. I'm like, I know what to do in a gym. I know what to do with nutrition and things like that. I'm confident in that field. It's up to the individual if they read that as an arrogant thing because I'm confident in that field, or if they read, oh, he's really confident and passionate about what he does. This comes down to how the individual reads that situation.
Yeah.
It's like I could turn around to you and be like, if you were doing kind of beauty stuff to me, or you were kind of teaching me something, anything to do with tropics or skincare, you'd be quite passionate about it. You'd be like, no, you need to do this and this and this because it benefits. I'd be like, oh, she's a bit know-it-all, and she knows. But, or I could be like, no, actually, she's very educated in her field and she knows, she's confident with it. This will work because of your skin quality or your skin texture and things like that. It's up to how the individual wants to read it.
It's the other person having an insecure mindset, I think,
about
themselves. Because I just wanted as well, I don't know if I have mentioned Millie to you, a friend of mine that I've met online. We've become really good friends.
Oh yeah.
She's in the health industry. She trains really hard. She did a bikini competition, with bodybuilding, and she is just the most vibrant, lovely person that that I've made friends with. She's brilliant. And she actually brought this up. She's been doing self-care, like Zooms with her team and things.
Yeah, it's great.
And she actually brought up with me, because jumping back a little bit, when I was in the relationship with my children's dad, I won't go into it, but I was very much made to feel like I wasn't good enough, like no one else would want me, like I was ugly. And I believed all of that. I really, really did. And it wasn't until I came out of that situation and again started with topic skincare in the COVID session. And I then had to start posting online. And at first I was quite uncomfortable with it, like I'm sure everyone is.
Yeah.
But then I did, and I hate to say this, but I'm not ashamed to say it. I started to really like myself again. And I thought, you know what, I'm not all these bad things.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
But I did take it to the little bit of the ego level. I'll be honest. I can. It wasn't until she said this to me that I thought I recognised that I did that a little bit. I took it a little bit. Well, not terribly, but
no, I
liked myself again, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to apologise for actually feeling like I like myself and who I am again.
I wouldn't even turn around and say it at all like that, like at all, because like the ego side of things, like obviously I've known you and I've known you through the tougher times and things like that. Like at the end of the day, like when you've gone through, it was a long time, right? It was 10 years of a relationship where you've made to feel a certain way. I'm like, if you come out of it and just want to be and just fucking live on top of the fucking world for a couple of months, I'm like, do it. Fucking do it. I don't care, because people could easily turn around and say the same to me. Oh, I'm like, I know deep down I have a fucking ego. Like, because
I don't as well.
No, that's it. And that's all that matters though, is that that. Who gives a fuck what, like,
no,
if you go through...
and that's the thing. I don't care what anyone else thinks now, because unless they really know me, and the people that do really know me know that I'm not like that at all.
And I always go as well, if people are so intrigued in my life that they want to call me ego, or they want to put in a comment, I'm like, thank you so much for
Because
being
you're following
so,
me and looking at
yeah,
everything.
that's it. Thank you for being so involved in my life and having an opinion on it that matters so much to you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I take it as the biggest compliment because, like you say, it comes down to be like, or I'm really sorry because actually that you're in a bad
It,
situation right now.
yeah, and they're not feeling like we're feeling, because there's nothing better than, again, like I said with Millie, and I just want to say something that she said to me. Again, she said that like self-care and self-love is like a vibration, it's a feeling of how we feel, and then we portray that, and that it's absolutely okay, you know, it's okay to put a great selfie up of ourselves. It's
Yeah,
not being egotistical. And I think it's, again, it's how we treat other people, and
that's
the kindness that we show other people. You know, I know a lot of, especially being a woman and working in the beauty industry for many years, it was all so bitchy. And I'm, you know me, I'm not like that. I've always been a tomboy. At school, I hung
yeah.
out with the boys, played football. I was never into all of that. But now it's like, I love seeing other women and other men online that are doing good, and I'll like their pictures and say, wow, you look amazing, or well done. And you know, some of them I don't even know.
No, but also
um
that says a lot about you, though.
yeah, and
That says a lot about how happy you are in your own place.
I just want, I want people to know that they're doing good, you know, no matter how much they're trying, or they're probably posting, you know, for instance, a girl, I said to her to go follow you, actually. She's been doing, a gym girl, doing herself bodybuilding, like for bikinis. She's done amazing, and she was posting her whole journey. So the vulnerable times, you know, she'd be sat crying, saying, oh, I feel down, everybody, I'm sorry if I've let anyone down. And I remember messaging her just saying, oh my God, like, stop, you should be so proud of yourself. If you don't come anywhere in this competition, I said, and I'm not saying this as a random nobody that doesn't know anything. I said, my brother taught me this, that it's about the journey. It's
Yeah.
about how you get there, you know, and the effort you put in. And if you get to that run, if you're a runner and you don't get first place or second place, if you just finish the marathon, you know, I don't know, I feel quite passionate about that. It's about our journey,
It is
that
because,
gets us
like,
there.
I said this to, who did I say this to? Don't know. I said literally the other day, same, probably very similar conversation. And I said, like, if you told me 2 years ago you'd be living in Dubai, have a quote unquote successful business, helping people around the world, I wouldn't have believed you. And you'd be earning X amount of money, you'd be financially okay and things like that. I'd be like, well, that sounds great, but it's not going to happen. And fast forward to now, what it's happened. And the thing is that you need to be so, like, fucking hell, the kid that a year ago wouldn't have believed you now. So I'm like, if you just keep
Yeah,
going with this trajectory and just enjoy it, just enjoy every second. That's why I live by that 1%. I'm like, just enjoy every day, that 1% every day.
yeah,
Because actually when you achieve it, it won't feel amazing. It really won't. Like, it's that typical thing, like, you know, it's like when you like work towards something, or you achieve something, or you buy something, you're like, oh, all right, that's it.
yeah.
That
Or
is,
it does feel amazing, but
oh,
not
for like a
half as
fraction of a
much.
section. But what you love is that you love the process of building up to it and
Yeah,
earning it. That's the thing. It's like,
yes,
I do this now, obviously, like, I'm a week out on Saturday, and I'm like, fucking hell, I've never looked like this. But why aren't I happy? Like, why am I not satisfied with this right now? I am, but I'm like, but I want more and I want more. It's that typical thing.
yeah,
Actually, it's like, this is why it's nice talking to you as well, because I'm like, okay, cool. Like, actually take a step back. You're doing all right. Like, this is the best you ever looked regardless in your life.
yeah.
So it is that whole thing. You need to look at it from a bird's eye view. And
That outside perspective looking
and
in.
I think, again, like, the reason that we can have this conversation now is that we're both in very similar times of our life where we are aware of it. We're very self-aware of this. But if you asked us 6
Definitely.
months ago or 8 months ago, I don't think we'd be in the position to have this conversation.
No, no,
Even that
no.
long ago,
Well,
even it's not even that long ago.
definitely I wouldn't have.
I
No.
wouldn't have either. Like, I always think that I almost want to thank my last relationship for that, because it's given me so much clarity on fucking everything. I don't even know. I can't even pinpoint it, but it's giving me a lot of clarity on
Yeah.
things because of that, and vice versa. Like you had a crazy relationship, like you've had 2 kids and things like that. But it's now when it's hit you, like, wow, okay, like that 10, 12 years of bringing up these kids. Now they're getting to
Yeah.
a point where Honey's in secondary school. Blake's kind of at the age where he's cracking on with his own. He's not, you don't need to baby him
Yeah.
anymore. And now it's like a lot of I'm not going to say your parenting role's done, but it's almost like it's smoother now.
It's
Because
like a
you
new
can
chapter starting.
yeah. But now you're in a position for the first time in 12 years, regardless, to do you.
Yeah, and
That's
I do feel like that now. I feel like, but again, I feel like I could say that, you know, I wouldn't want to have gone through all that I've gone through, but I probably wouldn't be sat here with all of this knowledge and all of this
yeah.
wiseness about myself. And also, you know, putting myself first a little bit. I used to
I think
always feel like I
you've
had to be
always
doing
put
for everyone
yeah,
else.
you've always done that. Yeah.
So now I don't feel bad about actually having some me time, you know, whether it be just going to the gym for an hour or saying to the kids, actually, no, this is my hour to sit and do what I'm doing for a minute. I've done, you know, whatever
Yeah.
we were doing. I think it's just about balance, isn't it? And
Yeah,
balance,
it
getting
is.
balance in life is so hard. I'm sure everyone agrees. It's so hard to have balance in all those different areas of your life. But I
Yeah.
think as long as we're mindful of it,
Yeah, so I've always had do you know what's funny? I think my opinion on balance has changed a lot in 6 months as well.
hmm,
Obviously right now in my life I can't have balance, and that's fine. I think it's knowing when you can have balance or more of it and when you can't. So if someone
yeah,
turns around to me like, oh, they want to do a photo shoot or competition prep, I'll be like, right, expect the next 16 weeks to have no balance. There isn't going to much social life. You have to eat X, Y, and Z. You have to do all these things. That is it for the next 16 to 18 weeks. But after that, for the next year, 2 years, you decide to do it again, you can have balance. So you do
yeah,
have to think there's almost time periods in your life where you have to sacrifice, right? Like, I guess you could go through, right? Um, when you have a newborn, right? I'm just trying to relate.
yeah.
Like from birth to 1 year, there is no balance. It's all about
I
fucking,
know
it's all,
your life's on the back burner.
yeah, that's it. But then it's like, right, I do this for a year, then they get a little bit older and things like that. And then over those years, it becomes more flexible and balance starts to build. That's
Yeah,
more of an extreme as well, like time frame, because
yeah,
like it'll probably be 16 to 18 years old for you, really, when they're both at that
yeah,
age. Are going to college, going out with a Friday night, and you can just think, oh, fuck it, I'll go out tonight as well, or whatever it is, or they're both at university, or they're both running their own businesses, who knows, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, cool. It took me 20 years to actually do this. And I think it's almost the
yeah,
same now for mum, because obviously I was
yeah,
the youngest, but it's only been in the last 2 years really since moving here, maybe a little bit more, but being in London and stuff, but where she's actually not a mum as much, right? Like,
yeah.
so
She's
she's
got
got,
her own time again.
but that's it. But since 19 years old, she was a mum all the way through
Yeah.
till 60. Do you know what I mean?
Shoosh.
Do you know what I mean? So now it's like, and then and I think we see it now in her where she doesn't have much of a life. I'm like, because she's gone a long time with no balance. But now
Yeah,
she's starting to build that. Now she's just gone on holiday with our auntie and things like that.
yeah.
And then she's meeting people for coffee more. I do that now. I'm like, oh, do you want to talk? She goes, no, I can't. I'm going out for coffee. I'm like, you know, you're a bit insulted. You're like,
Because we're so used to having her on tap, aren't we?
yeah, that's it. And I'm like, where are you going? That's it. I need you. But no, but it's good to see now because I think we both gave her a bit of a, like, you need to have a life besides dogs and horses and painting.
Yeah,
You need to meet people. And she's doing
yeah.
that now, which is nice. So I think, like you say, balance is a tough one, but it's just knowing when to,
When you can do balance and how much of it, you
yeah, that's
know.
it. When to go 100 miles an hour, when to go 70 miles an hour, sort of thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally it. So no,
I do like going 70 mile an hour, fly by the seat of my pants, but it
oh man, honestly, I love it
doesn't
now.
always serve you.
But the thing is, though, I've got to the point where I run my business now, where I get to, well, it's 20 to 6 here, where to 6 to 7 p.m. I am done. Like I am, that is
Mm,
my time to wind down. But the worst thing is when you run your own business, you're like, I can't stop, I can't slow down, because
Your brain doesn't switch off.
no, I'm okay with my brain not switching off as long as it's switched off to 70%, not 90. So that's okay. But I do enjoy actually having the downtime now just to chill and relax, because actually sometimes I forget my job is to build a physique and to practice what I preach. And my job is to rest. Like that is a part of training, rest and recovery.
Yeah, but
So
also it's part for you to do for yourself. Forget fitness and training in your body. It's for you, for you to have a little bit of you time, you know.
Yeah, it's it. Kind of like you said, like for you now, it's like going to the gym and things like that. I'm like,
yeah,
fucking hell, I don't want to do that. I want to watch Netflix.
I went spinning last night at 7:30 because I was like, just let me out, someone. I want to go and go to the
Yeah,
gym.
that's it. No, it's it. It's great because it's just like you say, it's just two ends of the spectrum of balance. So it's amazing. This is a question for you.
Yeah.
What have you learned as a parent from having Honey to Blake? What's like the biggest, do you know what I mean? Like what's the biggest, because obviously when it's your first child and things like that, it's different. What was it like? What's kind of like the biggest thing you kind of learned having Blake?
I would say the difference is I did everything by the book with Honey. I did what I was like supposed to do.
Is that like,
with Blake,
like, oh, don't eat this, don't do this, don't put this.
wean them at this age, don't have them sleep in the bed with you.
And Blake got raised in the woods.
And Blake was, I just thought, do you know what, I'm not listening to any of that now. And also because I was tired. He was quite a hard baby, as in he was 3 weeks early and he cried all the time, so he had a dummy shoved in straight away.
He was a very clingy baby though, wasn't he, for a long
time? My goodness, clingy he was. When they get to about 9 months old, I think it is, they usually get this I can't think what you call it. It's an actual, you know, like separation anxiety, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
And then it goes away over a certain period of time, and that's normal for babies. Well, he had that so bad and it didn't really ever go away. So literally I couldn't put him down and walk to the other side of the same room without him screaming, because he, you know, if mum came to the house, he would run and try and cling to me.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Yeah, because he thought either she was going to take him or I was going to go and leave him with her.
It took a long time for him to be like, oh, these people aren't going to take me. Like even when
he didn't trust
around,
anyone.
He didn't trust. No, he didn't. No. Yeah.
No, but I think for me the biggest thing was, and I did a lot of it because it was just ease for myself, because he was like that. So I would just, there's all these rule books, but who made the bloody rules in the first place that you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z?
I remember,
so that was the biggest thing for me between the two. Just do what is right for you, and that goes with everything across the board.
Yeah, I remember I've coached obviously quite a lot of ladies that are pregnant all the way through to their pregnancy, and it's like I give them advice on nutrition. Fuck me, I shouldn't do that for a first Jesus Christ. My doctor said I can't touch X, Y, and Z. The vitamin K chromosome is going to do this, and the vitamin C is going to do this, and krill oil is going to do this. God. I can't eat broccoli at this. And I'm like, oh my God, it's broccoli.
That everyone to their own again. But
I know,
for me, all it was don't eat soft white cheese, I think it was, like brie or...
Oh, that sucks for you, doesn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah. And I think don't have peanut butter or nuts. I can't even remember.
Peanut butter? I'd be like, fuck off. We're not having a baby.
I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I can't even remember. But yeah, I just went with the flow and did what was right.
So when
you
had Blake, you ate 6 tubs of peanut butter every day.
Yeah. I was. It's like they don't want to give kids nuts because they might be intolerant to it, but I mean, how do you know if they've got an intolerance or not?
Yeah, that's it. How do you know?
And you don't. You just got to give them the food, and if you know,
if you need an EpiPen, we'll go get one, bro. Like,
yeah, but yeah, I just they're good kids, and I've learned so much that obviously now I can pass on to them. So I'm quite looking forward to it, actually.
Yes, I'm
the next chapter.
I love it now. Even when I jump on Zoom with them, like they're little humans now. Do you know what I mean? Like they're real people now. And I know it's obviously like I love it because I talk to Honey and I'm like, well, even when she was younger, and I'm like, fucking hell, you're too smart for this shit. But I talk to her now, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what planet do you live on? Like, you are.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have a conversation, you have a true conversation with a woman, especially for her. And even now,
Oh,
Blake
yeah.
as well. Like Blake's just like he's his own character, and he's got like this. I'm excited to see him like in going into kind of like later on in the kind of school life and things like that. Going into teen, he's
Yeah.
a really good, a good soul, a good personality. I think. Do you know what the thing is? I think Honey's very much like you from a looks, a very academic, switched on woman in a sense. Now I see kind of like the you now in her now, but I think
Yeah.
Blake's gonna have like the fiery you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blake's gonna have Blake's gonna be the bit of like he's going to be a bit of not the party animal, but he's going to be like, I'll do that. I'm up for this. Let's go. Because he's already like that now. It's like you go to a skate park with him and he'll just fucking fall off the half pipe. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, mate, calm down. Like, shit.
Yeah,
He'll just
do
do
you know
it.
what? He went off the half pipe on his BMX the other day. And, you know, he's been riding a bike with no stabilizer since he was 9 months old.
Yeah.
But yeah, he actually dropped off the highest half pipe that I've been to on his BMX bike, and I did think, oh my goodness, he's going to buckle, but he got a bit of a wobble on.
Yeah,
but he was fine.
But that's the thing with him though, like because he's eaten shit a lot already. Do you know what I mean? He's had a lot of like wears and things like that. I think he's got it out of his system. So now he kind of knows he's like, he'll get to the point like where he thinks, oh, maybe I'm not indestructible. But I think for now he'll run on, I'm indestructible.
Do you know what? He's quite, he does weigh up before he does something,
but only
he
recently.
Calculates if he feels he can do it, and if he feels that he can't, he'll watch someone else a few times and pick up how to do it, or he'll edge himself in gently.
You can kind of see his face as well.
Smart.
Yeah, I remember like just going down to the Marlow skate park. He'd skate around the bottom and things like that. And he's normally like a really smiley, but his face changes a little bit. He's like, I want to do this, but I need to suss it out first.
Yeah.
And then when he's kind of like, all right, I'm good to go, he'll go and do it. And then he's got all the smiles again. But he kind of has to analyze it, which is good. Like, that's a great skill. Like, that's that self-awareness, being like, am I capable of it or not? But I think regardless of not, he'll do it.
It's something that I never had, actually. I'd just do it and then worry about it afterwards.
Yeah. But then I always say this to people. I'm like, the reason why people don't succeed at what they want to do is they just don't take action.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're right. Totally right.
Because if you take action, you know if it works or not. And I'm like, it's the same as like anything. I'm like, if you generally want to get in shape, you need to go to the gym, you need to eat well. Like, that's it. Like,
it's that simple, really.
I can write you a great training program and a great diet program, but if you don't use it, it's fucking pointless. Or I can write you a really shit training program and a really shit diet, but if you use it, it's going to be a very good diet and a very good training program.
Yeah.
It just comes down. Yeah, it just comes down to implementation and how fast you're willing to implement. And that's it. That's kind of like the reason why you see a lot of young people successful nowadays is because they truly just do implement fast.
Yeah, they don't think so much. They just get on and do it, don't they?
It's the best way, really. Like, just don't think about it. Just do it. What have you got to lose? Like, it's the same thing. People are like, oh, like moving to Dubai. I'm like, what have you got to lose? I'm like, well, nothing. I got 3 bags and I can fucking fly home and cry to my mum if I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all good.
There's nothing to lose. Is it? Like, yeah, I'll lose my money, but you can earn money again. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
So super, super easy. So no, easy. Is there anything else that you want to touch on? Anything like that? Because I don't mind shit, so it's great.
I don't think so, but I've got 10 minutes to get to the school.
Oh, that's cool. Right. That's perfect. So it's cool. We can wrap up here. But the end of the episodes, a little bit of a task. Because it's the 1% podcast, what is one piece of advice you would give anyone to take one step further forward tomorrow?
Oh, I wish you told me I was going to have to say this.
No, that's why I don't ask
quite
it.
a good thing. Be yourself and go for it. That's two things, but that is what I would say. To hell with what anyone else thinks. Don't worry about your image to how anybody else sees you. You just do you, and your image will shine through regardless. If you're being good to yourself, then don't worry about anyone else.
Amazing. I love it. And then obviously for anyone that kind of, obviously this, because loads of people around the world will see this as well, but to anyone that kind of skincare, all this, where's the best places to find you, to kind of ask questions, things like that? What's the best place to get in contact with you?
You can find me at Louisa's Tropic Skincare Treats on Facebook and Instagram.
Cool. Easy peasy. I'll link all my sister's stuff in bios and things like that at the bottom. So yeah, no, absolutely amazing. It was, yeah, I love this. Thank you so much. Thank
So
you.
nice to catch up as well.
Yeah, that's it. So it's cool. And then I'll speak to you in a second anyway, when you got the kids and stuff. So it's fine.
Okay, cool.
All right. I love you lots, and I will speak to you in
All
a
right.
second.
Love you too.
See ya.
Bye.